Hey, here's some more quickies for the feature-length films from Fantasia Film Festival that I still haven't talked about. We're going in order from worst to best, I guess. Let's do it. One of the films I saw was Hail to the Deadites. This is a documentary about the Evil Dead, but kind of not really. It's more about the fans, and it doesn't really delve into anything too much. It kind of just meanders around for a long time. The audio mixing in this film is pretty terrible. There's one guy being interviewed that's just way louder than everybody else. This film is basically just supplementary material for Evil Dead fans, and although I am an Evil Dead fan, this movie still didn't really do it for me. There's a lot of really lame, cool music in the background. This doesn't really feel like a super professional documentary, and it wouldn't feel out of place on TV or just as a special feature on an Evil Dead DVD. Honestly, this easily could have just been a YouTube video. The voiceover narration feels clunky and often redundant. Whenever they talk about the film, they don't show clips from the Evil Dead, and they instead show clips from fan-made YouTube videos of the Evil Dead. Maybe they couldn't get the rights or something. This documentary feels really stretched out and unorganized. There's not really much of a through line, and it seems like it's confused about what its overall goals are. The best parts of this film are the interviews with the original actors, although that doesn't take up a whole lot of the movie. It's just not that entertaining to show a bunch of random nerdy fans showing off their Evil Dead memorabilia. The film shows a lot of Evil Dead cosplayers and shows their lives, and it gets really boring. It's like the film ran out of things to talk about, which is weird because there's plenty of things to talk about if you're gonna make an Evil Dead documentary. They easily could have talked more about the musical. They could have talked about how you can't buy the original film in HD because Sam Raimi, George Lucas, the whole thing, and made a bunch of stupid changes. If you're confused as to what I'm talking about, please watch the Evil Dead Blu-ray rant posted on the YMS Highlights channel.
And we won't go back and fix Evil Dead either.
I hope not.
We're not gonna erase all those mistakes that rich filmmakers can go back and do.
Brucey.
George.
Bruce.
Lucas.
Bruce.
Sorry, sorry.
We had a digital upgrading of Evil Dead. Bob Murawski, the editor, and I, and I'll tell you about it later.
They fixed my performance.
I want to buy the Evil Dead on Blu-ray without having this stupid specialized bullshit on it. Please, let me watch the original film in HD. Why won't you let me buy it? Release the tapered cut. What the fuck? I mean, yeah, I can't really pretend to be surprised that they wouldn't include something like that in this documentary, because it seems as though the only real goal of this film is just to suck up to the filmmakers and hopefully get, like, an email from them or something in the future. I don't know. Anyway, if you're a diehard fan of Evil Dead, then you might get something out of this. If the film trimmed itself down to 30 minutes instead of an hour and 20, then I might enjoy it more too. And I'm giving this one a 4 out of 10. It's closer to a 3 than a 5. I don't really give a shit. Maybe I should give it a 3. You know what? I'm giving it a 3. It's a 3 now. That's what you get. Bleh. Another film I saw was Shakespeare Shitstorm by Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman is a co-founder of Troma Entertainment, and he also directed Poultrygeist, which is my favorite of the films he's directed. He's quite the hilarious character, and I interviewed him on my channel a while back if you're interested in seeing that. If you love Troma and Lloyd Kaufman in general, then you'll probably get something out of this movie, although if you haven't seen one of his films before, I'm not sure I would recommend watching this one first. It definitely delivers on being gross and extremely over the top, but this film is not nearly as well-paced and consistently entertaining as Poultrygeist, which I think is a bit exacerbated by just how much this film leans into culture war commentary. Not to say that this has never existed in a Lloyd Kaufman film. In Poultrygeist, there are playful jabs taken at basically every demographic, and those bits of commentary were sprinkled throughout the film, with the main focus being the gore and silly musical numbers. Unfortunately, with Shakespeare Shitstorm, the culture war commentary seems to be the focus of the film. The plot revolves around a drug called Safe Spacia for victims. Perhaps the commentary would be more entertaining for me if it didn't feel so dated. There are parts of this film that feel as though they might as well be a comedy sketch posted by Paul Joseph Watson in 2015. And that's not to say that none of these moments were funny. There was a throwaway line that involved some social justice warrior characters huddled together, and one of them said, "Okay, here's how Bernie can still win the 2016 election." I liked that joke. That was pretty funny. But unfortunately, the majority of these culture war jokes just feel so old and outdated that I wish it wasn't the focus of the film. There was still plenty of dumb gore and gross poop stuff, I guess, and every character played by Lloyd Kaufman is still very silly and fun to watch. I just wish that the parts that I liked took up more of the film. Still, at least this movie knows that it's just a big dumb shitpost. I still love Lloyd Kaufman and will continue to check out everything he makes. If this movie doesn't quite do it for you, then don't completely write him off. Poultrygeist is a delightfully gross and funny film that I would recommend to anyone that feels as though they could handle it. It's very offensive and very funny. And although this one didn't quite do it for me, I'm glad he's still making films. And I'm giving this one a 4 out of 10. Another film I saw was Tezuka's Barbara. This is a film based off of one of Osamu Tezuka's more mature mangas from the 1970s called Barbara. And interestingly enough, this film is directed by his son, Makoto Tezuka. This film is not terrible when it comes to the technical elements. It's got an interesting jazzy soundtrack, and there are a few really good shots here and there. There are points where it's relatively entertaining, and there's a few what the fuck moments here and there, but I think the biggest issue with this film is that there aren't really any likable characters. It was really difficult to empathize with anyone's motivations. Throughout the entire second half of the movie, there would be points where supposedly dramatic things would happen, but I didn't care about anything going on. It really did not have a great story structure, and the entire third act just felt nonsensical and unsatisfying. There was also a really weird sex scene montage that went on for way too long, and even when you think it's over, it just goes right back into another sex scene montage. It would honestly feel way too awkward and long, even if their relationship had been properly developed, which it wasn't. Overall, this is just a really forgettable movie. The only thing that really sticks out in my memory is that there was a woman who had a sparkly dress and a hat that looked like a milk dud. So yeah, unfortunately, this film felt largely pointless and forgettable. It wasn't terribly made, it was just not engaging. So yeah, check this one out if you want, and if you're a fan of Osamu Tezuka, you should watch my Kimba video. I made a really big video on Kimba the White Lion and just how awesome that show is. Anyway, giving this one a 5 out of 10. Stay tuned for more quickies. I got a lot to go through. I've already done 2 of the 3 film festivals this month, and I'm in the middle of the 3rd one right now, and there's like 20 or 30 movies that I have to watch for the 3rd film festival this week. I say have to, but really I want to. I mean, like, they're movies that I'm at least interested in seeing. Anyway, just stay tuned, be patient. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Bye-bye.